You ever notice how freedom in America is always just one HOA president away from being an absolute circus? I mean, you spend years dreaming, working, scraping together every dime just so you can finally stand on your own piece of land and breathe in that sweet mountain air, and then boom, you get your first knock at the door, and your dream turns into the main act at the HOA's traveling sideshow. That's what happened to me, and let me tell you, I wouldn't have believed it if it hadn't happened to me firsthand. You want a story? Grab a chair. The day I moved into my dream house up on Ridgeview, all I could think about was how perfect everything felt: the quiet, the smell of pine needles, sunlight bouncing off the glass, my boots tracking fresh mud across a floor I built with my own damn hands. Then, before I even got a chance to set down my last moving box, I hear the familiar crunch of gravel, not the Amazon van, not a friendly neighbor with a casserole, but a county cruiser, lights spinning, looking out of place in all that golden afternoon light. 2 cops step out, one young and nervous, the other older with that bored, seen it all look. Right away I can feel the energy, not quite hostile, but definitely, let's get this over with. I wipe my hands, try to act casual, and that's when the older one, clipboard in hand, hits me with it. Sir, the president of the Silverbrook Estates HOA claims you're unlawfully occupying this property, and you're not complying with their community development standards. Just like that. Not even a welcome to the neighborhood. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. I mean, I bought this place at a federal land auction. With more paperwork than a mortgage lender's wet dream, you really think I just waltz onto someone else's land and start building? I pull out my folder, show them the deed, the exemption, zoning maps, everything but the kitchen sink. The young guy's flipping through pages, muttering into his radio, probably wondering if he's supposed to draw his taser over a land dispute. The older one finally hands it all back, says I'm clear, but the HOA president? She's not done. He warns me she's escalating to county compliance. Yeah, that happened. So, I go back to unpacking, thinking maybe, just maybe, it's over. The next morning, the air's cool and still, fog draping over the ridge like a curtain. I make myself a cup of coffee, sit on the deck, just soaking in the silence. 20 minutes, that's all I got. Then the mail shows up. You ever get a letter that just radiates smugness? Heavy, off-white envelope, embossed with that HOA logo. Like they want you to think it's a wedding invite, but it's really an eviction notice in sheep's clothing. Inside, it's page after page of legalese, welcoming me to the neighborhood before telling me my house is non-compliant with some imaginary regional residency compact. Says I can resolve the issue by moving out and renting one of their community homes for the low price of $7,200 a month. I kid you not. They even included a glossy brochure. Every house in there looked like it was built for people who think beige is a personality trait. Oh, and guess who owns all those rentals? Karen Darrow, the HOA president herself, through her little shell company. Yeah, let that sink in. So I laugh, then I get pissed, then I get to work. I scan the letter, forward it to zoning, the state attorney general, and my lawyer Rachel. She answers on the second ring, already amused. Didn't even last 2 days, huh? She's got a whole arsenal of templates ready for this stuff. Tells me to send a cease and desist and start a paper trail. I get everything notarized, even copy the mayor and county recorder. If they want to play games, fine. I'll bring a scoreboard. But Karen doesn't play fair. That night, I find a shiny new HOA sign zip-tied to a county utility pole on my property. Silverbrook Community Oversight Zone begins here. Not their pole, not their land. I rip it down, take a picture for the scrapbook, and toss it in the garage. If this is subtle, I can't wait for the fireworks. Sure enough, 2 days later, a county truck comes rumbling up my drive. 2 inspectors, boots polished, hard hats in hand. We're here for a zoning compliance and aesthetics inspection, clipboard guy announces. I tell them flat out Silverbrook has no jurisdiction, and they're not stepping foot on my porch without a written complaint and a call to the county supervisor. They frown, but they don't argue. I call Rick, the county zoning guy I dealt with when I first started building straight shooter, allergic to HOA drama. 15 minutes later, he's up the driveway in his old Jeep, binder thick as a phone book. Looks over the inspector's forms, then reads out loud my land's agricultural exempt, not subject to private covenants, all permits in order, No such thing as aesthetic harmony. The inspectors look like they just bit into a lemon. Rick tells them to pack it up or face a misconduct report. Off they go, muttering. Then Rick shows me something wild, a doctored map of Silverbrook. Their boundaries quietly growing to swallow up the North Ridge, my land included. Photoshop, plain and simple. Someone at the HOA tried to slip it into county files, hoping nobody would notice. They're trying to annex you, Rick says. Dead serious? You'll want to file a complaint. It's not paranoia if they really are out to get you. That night, just out of curiosity, I checked Google Maps. My house, now labeled Managed by Silverbrook HOA. That was the last straw. This was no longer about property lines. This was psychological warfare, the long game. They want to break you down, make you tired, make you cave. But they didn't count on me being stubborn. I start gathering every scrap of paper, every email, every map. Rachel calls, says Karen isn't just a bored retiree with too much time. She runs DVC Holdings, the company behind all those rentals, and her husband Gregory's a retired code enforcement officer. I do some digging, find out this is how they work. Hassle landowners, pile on bogus inspections, make life hell until you sell or move, then fold your land into their little fiefdom. It's a racket. I'm done playing nice. I take everything, security cam footage, forged maps, even the fake Google listing, and put it in a video. Standing on my porch, I call them out by name, lay out every detail, and post it online. The story blows up overnight. News stations pick it up, the HOA goes dark, their website offline. Rick texts me Karen tried to file the fake boundary maps at the county clerk's office. 3 days too late. He sends a picture. Karen in sunglasses, Gregory holding a binder, both looking like extras from a mob trial. But the plot thickens. One Saturday, while I'm picking up lumber in town, my phone pings motion alert from my security cam. HOA security guy, the same dude from their promo videos, wandering around my property, shoving an envelope through my mail slot, snapping pictures, then trying to peek in my kitchen window. I bark at him through the intercom. He scurries off. Inside the envelope, an agreement to join the HOA, already signed with my name forged, witnessed by Gregory. Rachel doesn't laugh. She says it's a felony. I file a police report, show them the footage. Deputy whistles, says if they tried to register that, it's criminal fraud. That's when I decide to go nuclear. Hidden cameras go up, motion sensors, cloud backup straight to Rachel's office. Then I send everything, the forged contract, the video, the tampered maps, to a local journalist who specializes in HOA horror stories. Within 48 hours, it's headline news: HOA caught forging signatures. Journalists call, nonprofits call, even a law professor wants to use my case as an example. And the best part? The HOA actually files the forged contract with the county, trying to make it official. Rachel is practically gleeful. Now we've got hard proof. Time to go federal. We file a Fair Housing Act complaint, tag the Inspector General for the Bureau of Land Management, and, with Rachel's help, draft a RICO lawsuit, racketeering, fraud, conspiracy, the works. I rent a billboard on the highway. Big letters. Private land is not for rent, not for sale, not for HOA, not for Karen. Underneath, a link to a website where I publish every document, every video, every receipt. The site explodes. Homeowners all over the country send in their own stories. The county zoning office, under media heat, subpoenas all Silverbrook HOA communications. Karen tries to cut a deal. An unsigned thumb drive arrives at Rachel's office with her resignation letter, claiming misunderstanding and offering to withdraw all documents if we'll drop our claims. Rachel forwards it straight to the FBI. This isn't just local drama anymore. The next morning, federal agents show up at my door, polite, but all business. Turns out Silverbrook's been on their radar for months. My complaint is the final nail. They ask questions, collect evidence, sign me as a cooperating witness. Then it's showtime. Squad cars and black SUVs descend on Silverbrook, agents hauling out boxes of files, Karen in cuffs, neighbors recording from the sidewalk. Gregory gets picked up at a golf resort. Board members flip. The whole HOA freezes. All assets locked down. Every resident notified. Their dues are suspended. Some folks panic, some throw a barbecue. Class action lawsuits pile up. Turns out Karen and her crew have been funneling HOA dues into their rental scheme for years, scamming renters and inflating fees. The county clears my land, issues a correction to the property records. Rachel frames one, I bolt another to my gate. Then a DOJ attorney knocks, names me as a victim in a federal investigation. The list of seized evidence includes my forged contract, the manipulated Google Maps files, and a handwritten note. Make this go away. We'll give him a house. You can't make this stuff up. Karen pleads not guilty, but the evidence is too strong. Gregory flips, board members cut deals. The HOA gets nuked by resident vote. Silverbrook Estates is erased from existence. Assets sold off. Every dirty dollar clawed back. I keep the billboard up, update my website, speak at forums, launch a nonprofit with Rachel to help others fight back. And my house, my home, becomes more than just a building. People visit, shake my hand, tell their kids, this is what standing your ground looks like. The last sign I put up is simple. Private land. Not for rent. Not for sale. Not for Karen. Every time I look at it, I remember the morning Karen sent the cops just because I dared to live freely. I remember the lies, the forgeries, the trespass, and the knock from the FBI. You don't beat people like that by playing their game. You beat them by documenting everything, standing your ground, building something real. Because in the end, property lines aren't just marks on a map, they're the boundaries of your life. And you better believe mine are burned into stone. So now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tangled with an HOA? Or had to defend your home against bullies in suits? Who do you think was right here, and what would you have done different? Drop a comment, share your story, and let's talk about what justice really looks like in our communities.